Fremantle nearly lost it, fading away. Off the front of the rim, just trying to get himself going.
Yeah, good shot to get that off, too.
Another little peek at where these teams sit in the baby brackets. That's a three!
Ziegler takes a three. And the rebound to Pope, who is checked back in for the Horns. Again, Meshack on Johnson. Pope into the paint, and it goes to make it a one-point game.
Kept Shedrick from getting there to block the shot. That was a really nice job by Felix Akpara, something that doesn't show up in the box score.
Pope from 18. Right there.
It's called after and really after.
Yeah. It's not going to shed us in a positive light. Six-point lead. Mark somehow sees Pope, and he knocks down a three to make it a three-point. How about that?
He giveth, then he taketh away, then he giveth back again.
So he's -1 through it all. Pope up and in.
On the ball handler.
Mark for three. Boy, every rebound is a battle right now, and that battle was won by Kent. And it gets the Longhorns up. And A&M's fourth. Texas has just won. That by Johnson.
Well, if I'm Texas, I continue to attack and attack in that middle third. Here comes Kaluma.
And Kent.
No, they're going to use Kent.
Yep. Nice pass. Yep. Pope in the corner. Give all the...
That was not a risk worth taking in my view.
Maybe looking for the element of surprise, but they could not connect. Mark driving. Swings it into the corner. Pope. Yes! And it's...
Well, these guys have to be exhausted.
Yeah, I was just saying, what a gutty performance by both teams here today.
And it's not just the amount of time, it's the physical beating they put on each other.
Pope the step back. It goes!
Yeah, he's a playmaking wing. And in his career, he scored over 1,400 points. He's got over 500 rebounds, over 230 assists, and over 130 steals.
Magnon continues to guard Trey Johnson. Johnson 1 for 4, 2 points. Pope the pull-up and a chance.
Clear foul.
Tremont Marchus went to the bench for Texas. Kendall Weaver, who gave the Longhorns some great minutes. Again, just his second game back from missing 15 games with a groin injury. Just got cleared to practice last Thursday. Pope got it. Nickel gets inside. He's having more success in the paint than beyond the arc today. And a good job by him. He's in constant motion without the ball to get himself free.
But for Texas, you force him into a fadeaway two. That's a win.
Pope off the glass, soft in the fourth and final game tonight here in Nashville. Here comes the pressure. And Texas will break it. Still a lot of time left in this game. Back to Pope inside 10 on the shot clock.
Got a switch.
The shot over Nickel will go. A big...
More picked up by Kent. Goodine had an early three, looking for his second. Not this time. Shedrick clears. Boy, he had Mark running open on a post route. He elected not to throw the pass. Pope, and a chance for three on the spinner.
Just flush it down.
Sooners by 3.
Good on Bedford's favorite.
Hope from the corner. Splashes home the triple.
The middle of the floor, being patient. He's looking to kick out for three or finding that pick and roll action.
Elvis already with 5 dimes coming off the bench for Porter Moser tonight. Without a point, the vision's been there. Pope from downtown. Elvis. 4 on the shot clock. Contested 3. Outstanding defense by the Horns. Can Trey Johnson get the offensive game going? The vision is there, and the reverse by Pope. Duke Miles, pick and pop. McGee, the rejection by Shedrick. Caden Shedrick may have saved the game for Texas. Pope, acrobatic finish. The lead down to 4.
Here's
Trey Johnson for 3. Pope on the offensive glass. Contested triple for Jordan Pope. And don't go anywhere just yet. Still a 1. Gentlemen, thank you very much here in Starkville. An early 3 by R.J. Melendez. Off the mark on the layup attempt on the second possession for the Bulldogs. And Texas gets it back. Mark Weisroy, Philpott. There's Jordan Pope, and that's a bucket.
That's taking. Texas tried to show a little zone, but then went man-to-man.
Jones off the mark. A 1-point game. Mark Weisroy, Philpott here in Starkville. Horns are on the bubble. Mississippi State is in. And a lot to be determined down the stretch in the SEC. We've already seen Georgia win on the road earlier tonight in Columbia at South Carolina. Pope, the elbow jumper, and he finds. How about the defense that's been played on Josh Hubbard tonight?
There's no question about it. I think Texas is doing to Hubbard what Georgia did to Trey Johnson on Saturday.
Pope scoops it up and in. The entire production for Hubbard coming in the second half. Texas gets it to begin overtime.
Can the Horns find their emotion early in the overtime?
Pope, contested mid-range.
For Blue Kane. He's had a great evening. Kane on the drive, got caught in the air and turned it over. Only the second turnover this half for Georgia. Jordan Pope around the Kent screen into the mid-range. And Pope's got the bucket.
Defensively.
Georgia handled it, and LeFew can't knock it down. Battle on the board, secured by Kaluma. Running the floor with Pope, pulls up. Transition 3 for Jordan Pope. Georgia coming off its biggest win of the season. Again, as we've talked about, turnovers though an issue, and Pope lays it in for Texas.
Pieces around it, and they're having some success.
Demery splits at the line, 26 points for his day, a 19-point margin for Georgia. Inside of 20 seconds to go, Pope connects from 3-point range.
But you want those high percentage shots if you are Texas. So you don't go away from them. Don't start settling. Continue to press the issue.
Pope, mid-range, got it.
There you go. 7 footers that can go in there and get the board. I'm doing my team a justice by letting it go.
Pope was left alone on the inbounds, and he buries
the ball with each other was going to be important going down the stretch of this season, and they're doing it tonight.
Nick Pringle, 6 points, 4 rebounds. Pope, the fadeaway, and Jordan Pope.
Coach.
I did it with him, just lightning fast hands. Good lesson for the coaches at home. You don't need all that equipment. No. Now, Texas has got a little cold here early after a quick start. Johnson's back into the game after a quick breather, and a little floater in a lane is like Youngblood, Philon, Diabate. They come in to make something happen. They come in to make a case for themselves to get more playing time.
No doubt.
The three-point shot didn't drop, but this young man is wired to score. Nate Oates went back and watched his high school games and looked at his high school numbers when Holloway went into the portal. They'll have the high seeds to make it happen. 7 times, Jimmy, they've gone over 100 this season, Alabama and their offense. 7 times. Fourth in conference play alone.
Tremont Mark and Kendall Weaver for this game. Missing the follow-up slam is Shedrick. He's been banged up. And now a rise-up three.
6 times this year, but he's never put them in back-to-back games.
Right. It's been a key cog for them. So has spacing been for Vanderbilt. They make up sometimes that lack of size with great spacing on the floor to set up those open shots. Pope on a step-back three. That might be the most difficult shot for Texas. But guys, for this Commodore squad.
Texas has Alabama and Kentucky next week, and then they get a bye.
Yeah.
I think this team could really use one. They're a little dinged up right now.
And judging by the ratings, most of you watched on Saturday night, they're without Boogie Flan, who came in still leading the SEC in assist-to-turnover ratio. Nice burst for Jordan.
That he built on Saturday. Could not tell.
Here's Wagner with the left hand. Barely grazed the rim at the end of the clock. He's slow to get up. Numbers here. Here's Jordan Pope, and he drills the corner three.
You got multiple shooters. Of course, you want to try to get Trey Johnson a three, even though his percentages haven't been great tonight. He's your best threat.
Shedrick with a hard screen. Hand off to Pope for three. He can score in bunches.
11 years ago when he got the job.
Yes.
Wow. That's a turnaround, folks. Deep three. Oh, no. Calipari was front and center promoting the SEC and telling top players, hey, you can come here. It's not just a football conference. It's also a basketball league, which we're now seeing in full effect. Pope, beautiful rise and fire.
Though I think he still may be out.
He's expected to be out for Big Blue Nation.
Shedrick, you got to shoot that, man. You got a season high. Now's not the time for good assists.
Under 2 minutes to play. Spoken like a true ball-hogging player. There's an and one.
You can kind of hit or miss tonight.
I think if you're Rodney Terry, try to get Trey Johnson the ball, knowing they'll switch and get to a favorable matchup. Let him go one-on-one.
Mentioned it earlier, Texas starting its defense way deep. Kaluma has the pass tip. Pope, scoring guard, banks it in. 9. Davis for three. Nope. Onyema on the glass. Ole Miss has a host of scorers on their team. They're one of 2 teams in the country. Minnesota being the other with 7 1,000-point career scores. Texas has 5. Here's Pope for three. But Texas is Pope. And we welcome those of you who watch Texas Tech knock off TCU in Big 12 action. This is the first ever SEC meeting between Texas and Ole Miss. Tom Hart alongside Dane Bradshaw. Slow start to this one. And Jordan Pope. Once again, he might be the poster child for playing with confidence.
Well, when he gets going, he gives A&M that third scorer in the backcourt, and that's when they look like a Final Four threat.
This is an A&M team whose best seed in tournament history is a 3 seed. They accomplished that twice, most recently under Billy Kennedy. Right now, Lenardi's got them as a 4 seed, but playing in the loaded SEC, they could make some noise. Pope got a bump.
Texas A&M can go cold, so if you can rebound and keep them off the glass, unsuccessfully there yet again, they're able to get the ball. And you do have a Texas team that can get hot themselves, so they can just find a way to get this thing to single digits.
Pope banks it in.
Football score. SEC defense, that's all you got to say. Here's Kaluma. Kaluma has had a calf issue, played through pain last time out for the Longhorns. It was a game-time decision 15 minutes before tip. He told his head coach, Rodney Terry, I want to. Here's 2 high school teammates going head-to-head. Barrett and Johnson, and Barrett wins that matchup. Offensive board, out to Pope for 3. Give him 2 more.
He was at LSU and now has found a home at Missouri doing what he does best, rebounding, setting screens, and then finishing at the rim.
He also had some clutch free throws late in that win at Florida. So doing a little bit of everything. Hope what they're not.
Glenn Taylor against Johnson. Tried to bank it home, couldn't do it. A rebound cleared by Jason Kent.
Yeah, that's trying to attack Johnson, the freshman, on the defensive end.
Jordan Pope, the runner. Well, C battle between Texas and OU. Taylor on cue. Pope, former teammate, clears the rebound. You couldn't have timed that story any better with that moment.
Thank you.
Pope connects from downtown, and a timeout's going to be called by Porter Mose.
Like they're expecting Shedrick to get every rebound. Rodney Terry talked about that at shoot-around today. He said it's got to be all 5 to the defensive glass.
Pope, a quick trigger, rolls it in, and first foul on Moore. Here comes Pope, pushed out by Miles, no problem. Numeral 0, be automatic.
Automatic. I do like going down the floor a little bit. I think Oklahoma's got to do something to change the flow of the game.
Has not happened yet. Texas efficient offensively, just 5 turnovers tonight. OU doubled that number with 10. Feels like it's more than that. Poe finds a way with a ball.
Be on the bubble
to get in.
To get in is 8.
Okay.
But if you have 7 and they're the right kind of 7 to go along with those 3 quad 1 wins you already have, you'll be on the bubble.
Pope, a brilliant stroke. That's a possession game.
That is a grown man's drive to the rim.
Texas hasn't scored in 4 minutes. Pope created a separation and a badly needed
down the floor because they had to change the flow of the game. Mission accomplished.
Longhorns had a 23-point lead earlier in this half. OU made it a 1-possession game moments ago. Pope again finds a way to the rack. It's got Maya Fears with 15 points tonight.
How explosive was that move?
It's the second gear that he hit easily. Pope, right past Fears and connects.
Jermaine Meshack, they're going to help off him. And there's Johnson that tries to come over with an additional body and leave 15 and orange open.
On the run and a finish.
Might shoot a 3 already. How he can be the quicker defender on his matchup on this end of the court and so active on the offensive glass.
Fun point guard matchup. Pope over Ziegler. Got it right in his side.
Yes, absolutely. And good job there in transition. Texas has done a nice job not letting Tennessee get many fast break points. Slipped up there.
Johnson has to come through traffic to get that one. Kaluma wants it back. Shot clock at 9. Shedrick working hard but can't get past Opara. Shot clock is at 3. Contested 2 goes for Jordan Pope. So Meshack on Trey Johnson. Let's see where Texas goes with this possession. Larry gets downhill. And now Pope. Johnson just a decoy. They're playing 4-on-4 on this possession, and Pope bangs it home.
Coach Barnes has just been phenomenal, and he can talk ball all day, but honestly, if you talk to him about his evolution with his faith and how he changed here, and you talk to former staff members, used to have the colorful language, and we joked it's like he's gone from Richard Pryor to Nate Bargatze. Still successful, just doing it slightly.
Tennessee to close the gap. Ziegler trying to go behind his back. Again lost his footing, and he lost the basketball.
He and Lanier both had some mismatches. I would have preferred to hit it to Lanier since he just made his last one.
Pope, contested 2. They wanted to foul.
5 games. But you do start to feel better about your offense after this game, knowing there's areas to improve. But I thought from a total minute standpoint, this was the best they played in conference play.
Pope drilled. That three is no good by Chris Moore. Here's another second opportunity by the Tigers. Here comes Jordan Pope, though. And reverses it and lays it in.
It's the only motor.
Here's Broom. Double team. Got to get it up. Turns it over. Tremont Mark. Pope. And goaltending.
Obvious goal.
Broom. Missed it. Here comes Tremont Mark. Down 11, 2:30. Laying it in is good is Jordan Pope. To Johnson. Drives the baseline. He's got cut off by Baker Mazzara, who blocks his shot. And how about the Pope? That prayer and
But there's been a couple balls thrown to him where I said, golly, you're putting your big man in a tough spot, but he's been able to hold on.
Fadeaway three, good from Jordan Pope with the handoff back to Pope. Now Trey Johnson lets it go. And he twisted his ankle on the jump shot and wanting to get the ball back. It looked like Washington may have landed on his foot. Turnaround, fadeaway, good! Jordan Pope going. Manny Obaski tries to get downhill around Larry, two-time Missouri Valley Conference all-defensive team with Indiana State. Trey Johnson with the pass into the corner. What is that, the fourth corner three Texas is hitting this game, second in the country in effective field goal percentage. They're shooting just 35% from the floor. They also came into the game fifth in the country in turnover percentage. Whoa, Johnson saved that one from sailing into the seats. But they have turned it over at an absurd rate tonight. 3 good for Jordan Pope.
Holly Springs, North Carolina. Glad to have you with us. Hope your holiday season is well underway, and this game is underway. The Longhorns control the tip, Texas in the white, and Northwestern State opening in a 2-3 zone in black uniforms with orange and purple trim. Texas with it. On the left side now to the right to Jordan Pope. Fires up a three and picking up right where he left off.
Is the way you got to take it.
Northwestern State with 16 fouls on 6 different guys, so nobody in foul difficulty for the Demons yet. Into the corner is Pope. Driving in, creates his own shot. Missed. No, it went in. He had one that.
We need those 2 guards.
Julian Larry on the dribble. To Tremont Mark. The 2-3 matchup zone. Shooting over the three-pointer. Pope, it's good. Jordan's hit. Thomas' shot will go in.
Boy, nice little floater that time.
And it's 59-36. Lead trimmed down to 23. The Longhorns have led by as many as 30. Northwestern State has hit 5 of its last 7 shots. Longhorns have gone almost 3 minutes without a field goal. Now out to Pope. He'll counter that with a 3.
Texas led 16-0 in this one. We're inside of 6.5 minutes to go. Larry out top to Shedrick. Back to Julian Larry. Pope off a screen. Gets deep. Lays it up and in. Pick and roll. Pryor works through it. And then short into the corner. Jacobs for 3. No good. Strong rebound by Onyema. Outlet to Kendall Weaver. Longhorns up 28-15. We approach the 4-minute mark. Larry, a little hesitation, gets bumped, no call. Step back jumper, good. Oh, Longhorns mistime the jump again. Davis gets it, but then Jacobs can't finish. Had a good look. And here comes Jordan Pope the other way. Pope wants to pull up for 3, and he got it. Biggest lead of the game for Texas.
Boy, it's
Cohen Rabatham is in for the first time, the freshman from Metairie, Louisiana. And he will pick up Jordan Pope across the timeline. Now Pryor. Here's Kaluma. Back to Pope. Pope gets the screen from Shedrick. Looks like a little pick and roll, and he floats it in. Thought he was throwing it to go here in this first half. White attacking again. Got Weaver off his feet short. Tipped around, and Kaluma comes up with it. Well, it's been a tough first half for James White. Here comes Pope. Pulls up for 3. Why not? Just like that. Second 3. So 40-23. Hunter's got 8 for New Orleans. We approach the 1-minute mark here. Pope off a screen. Bounces off a defender. Pulls up. He's feeling it. Knocks it down. Hunter. Mark misses both. Tipped around, and Onyema runs it down. Gets it to Pope. Pope in the paint, goes up and lays it in. Shot coming, and he misses that one. Onyema with the rebound, gets it out to Larry. Texas up 13. Here's Jordan Pope. Pope leading the way with 17 points. New Orleans in a man right now. Pope off the high screen from Onyema, back to Zarek. Zarek hands it to Larry, who nearly falls down, and then Onyema moving the paint in traffic, kicks it back out. They swing it to Pope. Pope is going to take a tough three, and he's feeling it. Mark left side, Pope for three. That one short, and Kaluma keeps it alive. Larry for three. That one no good. Onyema tips it around. Kaluma ends up with it. Pope faked the three, drives baseline up and under. Oh my goodness! Off glass. Has it. Gets a screen. Now kicks it around. The three by Vincent, no good. Ball tipped around. Tremont Mark comes out with it. Swings it cross court to Pope. He gets bumped. No call. Step back three. Oh my gosh! On his 21 points.
They'll be watching that on next one because they'll get you when you do that staring.
Pope will bring it up for Texas. 7:50 to go in the ball game. Pope doesn't use the screen from Shedrick. Shoots the three. Oh, is he feeling it? That was 5 of 17. Misses both free throws, both off the mark. So Texas holds that 24-point lead. And here comes Pope with the ball. Kemp trailing him after getting screened by Kaluma. New Orleans back in a man. Pope off the screen from Shedrick. Hesitation. Pull up from 15, and he's just shooting an open back out. Short for three, and that one rattles in and out. But the long rebound goes to Vincent, throws it away. Here comes Weaver behind the back. Pope for three. He got it! New Orleans back in that zone. They floated over the top to Pope. Back to Julian Larry, playing catch, back to Pope. He's going to shoot another three. Knocks down another three. Here comes White right down the middle, retreats. 4:40 to go, now wants to attack, throws it away. Larry's got numbers, hands it to Pope, floats it to Pryor. Pryor has to dribble it through the lane and hands it back to Larry, so Pope takes the three. Oh no, he hit another one!
He is dressed out, but in his place, Kendall Weaver works his way back into the starting five.
Yeah, and the silver lining in that is they get to get reps without him out there to help them understand what the offense will look like as, you know, and inevitably he might get in foul trouble come league play, so they need to be able to execute when he's not in the game.
So Texas still really hasn't gotten their top 9 players all in the same game together.
Quick three out of transition, but the ball was called a swing action.
Yeah, no white smoke on that one. Reinhardt with the miss as well. Larry to Pope. Got it this time.
But, you know, Pine Bluff is putting their head down and driving the ball hard. Texas has just done a great job of stopping that.
Cody with the offensive rebound gives a second life here to Texas. Pope from 16. Good.
He knows how to wiggle his way through the angles and get all the way to the rim.
The UAPB has already been to Cincinnati, to Tulsa, to USF. Texas Tech, Missouri, K-State. Preston's just glad he's not on the wrong end of a poster like that, as he's always banging with the bigs in practice. Oh, a sweet stroke from Jordan Pope. Do not save a ball into the lane on the defensive end of the court, and Texas just found out why. Easy bucket there for Brown. Pope, he was open top of the perimeter. Little step back three.
Holding to Mexico State without a three. They had 14 on Saturday. Jordan Pope gets the steal. No one in front of him. Pope lays it in. Carpenter for three. Pope passes up the three. Instead from the free throw line. Wanted a foul, didn't.
As I said before, I think he was turning some of those shots down in the first half. He's coming out a little more aggressive, trying to shoot the ball, and that's what you got to do. Their mismatch is not taking them off the dribble. It's making Texas extend on the defensive end and knocking down shots.
Pope keeps control of the ball, fades away. Overtime yet. Aggies hung in there, and behind Christian Cook and Robert Carpenter's 47 points, they knocked off the Lobos in their first and only meeting of the season. They used to play home and homes every year in non-conference play.
Yeah, that's a big win.
Nice move, Jordan.
Would average, 10 points a game, and they go have a chance to win the SEC title and go on deep into the March. I think he'd take that. He's a kid that's aware. He knows that he's going to be, a draft pick in the NBA. He's a winner. He wants to win.
And almost a certain lottery pick.
With Jordan Pope heating up all.
They bring that action, and he's basically coming up from the corner, and that leaves him wide open for the slip to the basket.
And now 8 assists for Diarra.
Pope, a corner three. So ready to go, NC State and Texas for the late tip here in Raleigh. And the tip is controlled by 6-1 Texas, playing its first true road game of the season.
Both of these teams will definitely get up and down the court. Smallish in nature, but athletic.
Jordan Pope, the starting point guard for Texas, 2.5 assists a game, puts up a 15-footer and drills it. An easy dose on the other end for Brandon Huntley-Hatfield.
Michael O'Connell, the Stanford transfer. Remember, he was a huge catalyst last year on that run to the Final Four. Tremendous point guard.
With the buzzer beater against UVA in the ACC tournament semis. He had a great game against Duke in the Elite Eight, where he had 11 rebounds from his point guard position. He's a leader again this year. Corner three, good. Hatfield, here comes a double. Came late. O'Connell for three, wide open. And another missed open three.
Yeah, these are good looks. Great pass by Huntley-Hatfield. Did exactly what he should have done off the double team, kick it to the opposite side. And got to make some of those. Got to make the defense pay.
Tough Wednesday for Michael O'Connell. 0 for 7 from the floor. Pope knocks it down. Second is in this. Third three of the night for Dontrell Styles.
Last year he shot 37% at Georgetown, and Kevin Keats would take that all year long.
Larry behind the screen from Shedrick.
Got 4 guys on one side of the floor.
Shot clock's at 6. Larry finally gives it up. Pope for 3. He used every bit.
Jeremiah Fears.
Yeah, he's going to throw Fears away. He's still hadn't lost, and he's getting them 17 a game.
Absolutely. Robert Wright from Baylor, Edgecombe, and it's a plethora of really good freshmen. Nice pull-up.
Tough shot.
Jordan.
Number 2.
But you see Delaware State being patient on offensive now. Now, wait a minute. I'm not sure Coach Waterman is looking for that, but a great guy, Newton, I'm telling you, a battery in his back at all times, and he continues to play hard. You don't want to give him second chances to get in the rhythm. The same thing for Trey Johnson. You don't give him a rhythm shot either. As you see, I like to see more hands from Delaware State in the zone right here.
Weaver missed a wide-open Katie Shedrick a moment ago. Shedrick was calling for it. Meanwhile, from the outside is Pope and connects.
Syracuse yesterday, Simpson today. There are certain programs you're excited to get a transfer out of. Rutgers is now one of them, the way Steve Peichel coaches defense, and Simpson obviously has been very well drilled.
By the way, shout out to Rutgers' hometown jersey. Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, 2 top recruits.
Step back 3 is pure pinball wizardry, and he evens the score. More second chance points.
Who kept that one alive? Solano got a finger on it, kept the ball in play. Another offensive rebound for St. Joe's.
Larry Shedrick into the body of Solano. Might have gotten a shot in the face. Pope in the lane, sticks it. Davis again. That one way too long. He thought he was fouled.
Good defense.
Pope, he might have shuffled 2. And then Pope sticks it for 2.
That's only going to increase the thought of him becoming a pro.
Davis stripped away. Syracuse going very small right now with Davis and Freeman the bigs. Texas small-ish with maybe Kaluma playing the 5 right now. Mark pushed all the way out to the half-court line by Freeman, who recovers. And then Pope strokes the jumper. Pope. Been the starting 5 for a long time now for Texas.
Pope all alone. Why not?
Knocked down in his face by Sanders. The senior by way of Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. He's averaging 10 points a night, just like he did a year ago. And 8 points against Missouri. Weaver with the response in the kick out to the corner. First free ball. 1 point at halftime of his ball game today. Has he done anything since then?
Well, he's a microwave. He can get it going instantly, and came out and showed that.
He was 0 for 2 in the first half. He is 5 of...
Cutting ability. Yeah, I think that's the first one we've really seen all night where he sliced up the defense a little bit.
And the left-handed finish.
Yeah, didn't get his hand on the ball, but forced the double pump and the throw out of bounds. Pope had 11 points Friday, but all in the second half. Fires for three and connects. In College Station, Texas A&M against New Mexico State. Also, Murray State, Kentucky, Mercer, Alabama on SEC Network Plus and ESPN Plus.
Chicago State extending their defense three-quarter court this time against the Longhorns. Trey Johnson has it under control, but aggressively double-teaming Shedrick.
Jordan Pope drives and gets to the rim, lays it in. They're in a conference now. They're in the Northeast Conference, and well, that of course doesn't sound right geographically. It is better than where they've been. They were a longtime member of the WAC.
Boy, Pope again.
It'll be interesting. You got Trey out of the game right now.
Hard on the floor, got the tip. Pope on the other end scores.
Deal with it. So, love to see him get more involved in on the block.
Jordan Pope spins and gets on the board. That's his first two, but he offensively later in the year.
I think they can. I think as Trey gets a little more used to the system, I could see them running things through him a little bit because the defenses are going to react so much to him with the shooting ability. And so once they figure themselves out, I think they will be elite offensive beats. And then in the SEC league play, those guards are a little better. They're going to have better shooters. So paying attention to the details on the backside of their defense is most important.
It is a deep SEC as well. Of course, Texas coming from the Big 12. That and the SEC seen by most as the two them twice. That includes Alabama coming off a Final Four run. Mark Sears is back, and most people think they will be the best offensive team in the nation and maybe better defensively, adding some size down low in the transfer portal. 5 to shoot. Vinson. Colbot finds Jordan Pope for three. Yes.
Pope corner three with the hand in the face. That young man is very, very talented, ladies and gentlemen.
One thing about Ohio State, guys, they were not a good transition offensive team last year. Good-looking mid-range game. Their recipient.
And already the Buckeyes have tied their 2-point field goals from the first half.
They're showing their offensive versatility here in this game.
And clearly they have made adjustments with Jake Diebler and their staff. That is Pope.